Whether you're looking at your phone, your laptop, or the sky outside your window, it feels like you can't turn your head without your eyes falling on another advertisement these days. When a commercial pops up online, we're all pretty quick to click on the skip ad button. But today, we're going to look at the exceptions to the rule. From death-defying game shows to shocking publicity stunts, let's take a look at the ads that keep the customers watching as we check out advertising that's on another level. McAdvertisements. Ice cream is generally associated with a trip to the beach or a warm sunny day. So when McDonald's started marketing their cones in snowy Sweden, they had to think outside the box. Sweden has beautiful summers, but in the winter, it's another, much colder story. This McAdvertisement uses this extreme environment to its advantage, featuring a giant plastic ice cream cone that gradually fills up with real snow, alongside text that tells the consumer it's never too cold for ice cream. It's certainly a unique approach, and if you threw a few sprinkles on that sundae, I'd scale the billboard and have a taste. The oversized ice cream isn't the only McDonald's dish that's appeared in an unlikely place. Zurich City Festival is one of Switzerland's largest annual events, and back in 2010, McDonald's converted a Swiss crosswalk into an ad for their world-famous fries, advertising their food to the hundreds of thousands of people that would attend the festival. The crispy crosswalk was positioned right outside of McDonald's, leading festival goers directly to the Golden Arches. Although I'm not sure I'd want to eat fries after watching thousands of people trample all over them. Airborne advertising. This next advert publicity stunt hybrid was designed to shock consumers into paying attention. Check it out. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's movie advertising. New Yorkers are famously good at minding their own business, but when these human figures started to soar over the Big Apple, every cab driver, Wall Street banker, and tourist was left looking at the skies. Unsurprisingly, these flying creatures aren't real superheroes. They're human-shaped remote-controlled planes created to promote superhero movie Chronicle back in 2012. Chronicle had a budget of just $12 million. But the marketing team's use of cheap publicity stunts meant that the movie flew straight to the top of the box office, grossing $126.6 million. Now I'm just waiting for all famous movie makers to adopt this approach. What I wouldn't give to see Spielberg, Scorsese, and Tarantino taking to the skies to advertise their new flicks. Molar marketing. Colgate is all about clean teeth and fresh breath. So at annual events like Oral Health Month, the company typically give out free samples of their plaque purging products. Unfortunately, crowds are never overly excited about the miniature tubes of toothpaste. So in 2009, the company decided to go in the opposite direction, handing out sweet treats to their customers. Giving out candy at Oral Health Month feels a bit diabolical, but all the sugary goods came with a secret message. When the consumers finished eating the free products, they discovered that the sticks carrying the candies were actually little wooden toothbrushes, all carrying the same message. Don't forget! This mildly threatening note reminded customers to brush their teeth. And by trading dental floss for candy floss, Colgate managed to create a fresh advertising campaign that reached a large group of sweet-toothed customers. A cut above the rest. There's only one thing professional soccer players like more than scoring goals: getting their hair cut. When Brazil's main soccer league, Serie A, banned alcoholic sponsorships on jerseys back in 2021, Brazilian beer brand Brahma had to think of a creative loophole to circumnavigate the rule. They decided to capitalize on soccer's love of hair, inventing a new hairstyle that resembled a glass of foaming Brahma beer, and marketing it to soccer fans on social media. The campaign is an example of guerrilla advertising, a marketing style that uses surprising and unconventional methods to promote a product. Remarkably, the haircut became so popular, Brazilian players started to wear it on the field, offering Brahma free advertising without breaking Serie A's rules and regulations. Getting your customers to advertise for you? Now that's how you trim away any competition. Word in mouth. Let's shift gears, cruising on from guerrilla advertising to a roadside billboard. An Austrian rest stop chain called Old Timer managed to create a billboard that's impossible to avoid, turning an entire road tunnel into one gigantic advertisement. The ad makes drivers feel like they're heading straight into a hungry diner's mouth, promoting Old Timer's all-you-can-eat buffet as the woman chows down on an endless supply of Fiat fries and Porsche pies. Fireworks Alfredo. This next advertisement is a New Year's billboard from Barilla, who said pasta la vista to 2010 by showing a cluster of spaghetti arranged to look like a New Year's firework. The simple, explosive ad appeared on bus stops and billboards, and campaigns like this earned Barilla a pretty penny. Their $4 billion in annual revenue, establishing them as the largest pasta company in the world. Kill boards. From a tasty ad to one that's a little more gross, this next billboard from insecticide brand Orphea involves a collage of dead insects. When it first appeared in 2013, the advertisement looked blank, simply showing a can of Orphea's insect repellent. However, the advertisement was actually a giant fly trap, the blank surface being covered in a layer of transparent glue. As the hours and days went by, the lights around the billboard started to attract thousands of mosquitoes and flies, and as the insects hit the advertisement, their bodies completely changed the image, creating a dark, spraying pattern out of the can's nozzle. According to Orphea, over 230,000 insects hit the billboard, putting a dent in Milan's insect population and showing why products like Orphea's are necessary to keep the bugs at bay. I know that successful businesses need to make sacrifices, but I didn't realize sacrificing 230,000 flies was the key to corporate success. Real-life sci-fi. We've looked at a few innovative billboards so far, but this next piece of futuristic advertising comes straight out of a science fiction movie. Cities around the world are now boasting 3D billboards, hyper-realistic advertisements that have been heralded as the future of advertising. These billboards are used to promote everything from TV shows to technology, and no matter what they're displaying, the 3D animations are bound to stop people in their tracks. From the corner of the box-shaped billboard, the forced perspective causes this high-definition kitten in Tokyo to look ultra-realistic, purring at pedestrians as they walk below. However, if you approach the billboard from a different direction, that's one flat cat. Regardless, from the right angle, these awesome ads are pretty mind-blowing, and frankly, I'm happy to be hypnotized into buying and consuming endlessly if it's in fancy 3D form. Sneaky sponsorship. FIFA is one of the biggest video game franchises in the world, so an advertising spot on one of their in-game virtual billboards can be pretty pricey, reportedly costing up to $500,000. Burger King decided they wanted to have their logos feature in the game without spending the big bucks, so the marketing team came up with an ingenious campaign to get the job done. Burger King sponsored the real-life jerseys of Stevenage FC, a tiny soccer team at the bottom of England's 4th division. Stevenage weren't a popular team, but they were featured in FIFA 20, meaning that when Burger King slapped their logo on Stevenage's real kit, their branding would automatically be found inside the game. They then introduced the Stevenage Challenge online, telling FIFA fans that if they scored a goal with Stevenage and shared it on Twitter, they'd win a real edible reward on the Burger King app. The campaign was a whopper success, and Stevenage soon became the most played team on FIFA. Over 25,000 goals were shared online, and for the first time, Stevenage's jerseys sold out in real life. The marketing campaign cost Burger King just $50,000, the dollar menu advertisement giving Burger King a huge amount of exposure and briefly making Stevenage the biggest team in online soccer. A pixelated problem. Next up, we have an advertisement from the WWF. No, not those guys. The World Wildlife Fund, an international organization that aims to protect endangered animals. In 2008, they started a pixelated print campaign that looked like this. It might look like the video's buffering, but the number of pixels used in the images are the same as the number of individuals in the species that are still alive. These prints showcase giant pandas, cross-river gorillas, Ethiopian wolves, and Japanese golden eagles. And the more pixelated the image, the closer the species is to extinction. The touching campaign gave a new definition to the term guerrilla marketing, And today, giant pandas are no longer classified as endangered animals, meaning the vulnerable creatures can now be portrayed in a slightly higher definition. Makeshift marketing. When it came time to hire a new in-house graphic designer in 2018, the city of Los Angeles came across a unique problem. Who was going to design the job advertisement? Instead of paying for a freelance designer, the social media team decided to create the ad themselves, and this is what they came up with. The ad looks like it was made by a 7-year-old, but the city didn't just hang little Timmy's artwork on the fridge. They shared it to Twitter, and the job advertisement went viral online. It's unclear whether the ad was made by a child on Microsoft Paint or a secret genius who knew exactly what they were doing. But the advertisement gained a ton of attention, and the city ended up receiving some pretty creative applications. If graphic design is these applicants' passion, I surely hope they didn't quit their day jobs. Creepy commercials. A horror movie is only really scary if the viewer is totally immersed, but the marketing team behind the release of The Ring 2 took the pursuit of realism a bit too far. In The Ring, the characters watch a haunted videotape, and when the video ends, they receive a phone call from a ghostly voice telling them that they're going to die in 7 days. For the sequel, marketing consultancy New Media Maze played into this storyline, encouraging fans to visit a website and input a friend's email address and phone number. The site would then send that friend an email with a link to watch The Ring 2's trailer online. As the trailer played, the friend's phone would start to ring, and if they picked it up, a spooky voice would whisper, 7 days. If someone pulled this trick on me, I wouldn't leave the house for weeks. But it turns out the campaign caused a ton of moviegoers to change out of their soiled pants and head straight to the cinema, with The Ring 2 grossing $163.9 million on a $50 million budget. A bloody good billboard. In 2020, the BBC advertised their adaptation of Dracula with a blood-curdling billboard. In the day, the billboard showed a plain white background, stuck full of bloody wooden stakes. A glass box sat on street level, meanwhile containing a single wooden stake, providing pedestrians with a weapon in case of vampires. Luckily for the citizens of England, vampires aren't real, right? Well, you can always count on the Count to come out at night, and as the sun went down, a single light shone across the painstakingly positioned stakes, ingeniously creating the unmistakable shadow of a vampire. Looks like we might need that stake after all. Spanish for sips. At first, this looks like an ordinary vending machine sitting on a busy street in Las Vegas. But whenever a pedestrian walks past, the vendor automatically offers them a free can of Corona's new hard seltzer lemonade, on one special condition.
Want a Corona hard seltzer limonada? Order en español, por favor.
This voice-activated machine accepts Españole, and if the customer tries to order in English, it immediately rejects them, asking them to repeat the order in Spanish. If they fail a few times, the machine offers them a free subscription to Duolingo Plus, a language learning app that allows them to learn enough Spanish to finally get their drink. The ad is a great way to pay homage to Corona's Mexican roots, though as soon as they've drunk a few of those hard seltzers, I'm willing to bet customers forget whatever Spanish they learned. Coiled campaign. Back in 2010, the marketing team at Copenhagen Zoo crushed it, creating an ad that's literally straight bussin'. Sorry, I promise I'll never say that again. This isn't a shot from a new disaster movie. This is an advertisement for the zoo, showing a boa constrictor coiled around a city bus and squeezing it tight. As the bus snaked its way through Copenhagen streets, it was bound to attract some attention, and Copenhagen Zoo went on to become one of the most visited locations in Denmark that year. Stellar work. Advertisement. Some of the advertising campaigns that we've looked at are arguably works of art, but these print ads by French eyewear store Keloptic belong in a gallery. The company showed a set of impressionist paintings, an art style that's famous for using dots and visible brushstrokes to create distorted versions of realistic images. The advertisement shows somebody holding a pair of Keloptic glasses up to the painting, and when viewed through the lenses, the famous paintings appear hyper-realistic, the company using works from Van Gogh, Monet, and Seurat to show how their glasses can improve your eyesight and turn an impressionistic world into a 4K photo. Way to make an impression. Rob me if you can. Back in 2005, 3M gave a new definition to the term billboard, creating a reinforced glass box and filling it with $3 million in dollar bills. The glass was strengthened by a layer of 3M's extra strong security film, and the company placed the box on a sidewalk in Vancouver, encouraging pedestrians to try and shatter the glass and take the money. Talk about trusting your product. 3M shared images of several pedestrians kicking at the safety glass, but the only things they broke were probably their toes, and the money remained untouched. It turns out the marketing stunt didn't just use reinforced glass, it also used some smoke and mirrors. It's since been revealed that there was only $500 of actual money inside the box, carefully placed on top of a stack of fake bills. Even though the stunt was cheap to produce, it seemed extravagant, and it led to a record number of orders for the security film, and a few copycat campaigns that weren't as successful.
Oh my God. Well, maybe that was a little too hard.
Sorry, Elon. Breaking the mold. The meals shown in fast food advertisements are typically a long way away from the food that you actually pick up at the drive-thru. But in 2020, Burger King decided to break the mold, literally starting an ad campaign that centered around images of a moldy Whopper. The TV commercial showed the burger progressively rot over the course of 34 days, before finishing with an important message, stating that the unappetizing mold is actually the beauty of no artificial preservatives. The fungal feast proves that Burger King uses natural ingredients in their Whoppers, while simultaneously making fun of McDonald's, drawing attention to the famous rumor that a burger from Mickey D's will last forever without rotting. Just look at this 12-year-old McDonald's cheeseburger preserved in Iceland. I am not loving it. Although associating food-based products with mold, I'm not sure I'm loving that either, BK. Gritty gamers. To promote the launch of Rise of the Tomb Raider on Xbox One, Microsoft placed 8 contestants on a huge billboard in London, putting them through a test that they called the survival of the grittiest. The contestants could leave the billboard at any time, but only the last remaining participant would take home a prize. A live audience on Twitch controlled the conditions on the billboard, subjecting the participants to artificially created blizzards, downpours, or sweltering heat. The advertisement created a lot of buzz around the new Tomb Raider game, and after 20 hours of survival, only one challenger remained. The champion was rewarded with a special vacation inspired by Rise of the Tomb Raider. And while full details about the vacation's location were never released, if you've played Tomb Raider, it doesn't sound like much of a reward. It's hardly a trip to the Bahamas. 2-in-1. With their plastic pens, lighters, and razors, French company Bic make a ridiculous assortment of products. Back in 2015, the company decided to shave some money off of the marketing budget, advertising both their razors and pens on one single ad. This guy's clearly fallen victim to a horrible prank, but he's got nothing to worry about, able to shave off his ballpoint beard with his trusty Bic razor. These advertisements appeared inside a magazine, and interestingly, they ran a page apart. This meant that as a reader flicked through the magazine, they'd pause on the second image, thinking they were seeing the same ad twice. In theory, they'd then go back to the previous page, playing an impromptu game of spot the difference, as they made sure that they weren't seeing things. This little bit of trickery is impressive, but in my opinion, they could have gone for a third. All they had to do to advertise their lighters was set the guy's hair on fire. Knock off the knockoffs. The world is full of thrifty sneakerheads donning shoes from brands like Mikey, Calvin Klein, and Abibas. Adidas decided to do something about the knockoffs, releasing a series of ads that highlighted how real Adidas sneakers are designed to offer you comfort and protection, unlike poorly made fakes. The company combined their famous three stripes logo with images of foot injuries, showing that if you wear fake sneakers, you're going to injure your feet. And when it comes to athletics, it's three stripes or you're out. Bright ideas. British newspaper The Economist is all about serious journalism. But back in 2005, someone in their marketing department had the idea of borrowing a trick from Saturday morning cartoons. The enormous light bulb in this ad contained motion sensors, meaning that whenever a pedestrian starts to walk underneath the billboard, let there be light. The billboard conveys that The Economist is all about intelligent journalism and bright ideas. And although the newspaper generally covers complex issues and current affairs, this advertisement proves that sometimes less is more. Billboard. If I've learned anything today, it's that coming up with an advertising campaign seems like a real headache. But that's where pain medications like Tylenol come in. Back in 2008, Tylenol asked the team at J. Walter Thompson to sugarcoat their pill, creating an advertisement that would beat out the competition. The team decided to depict a head-wrecking headache by building a fake crane and wrecking ball that appeared to be smashing through a man's forehead. The attention-grabbing ad had a clear message, the billboard encapsulating what Tylenol capsules are all about, helping you when your head really hurts. A sensational sticker. Using a wrecking ball in your advertisement is pretty impressive. But all pet care companies' frontline needed to advertise their business was a single large sticker. From the ground, the advertisement in Jakarta, Indonesia must have seemed a little strange. But when you viewed the giant sticker from a few floors up, the unwitting pedestrians walking over the dog looked just like ticks and fleas. It's clear to see why the pup isn't wagging its tail. And the image of a human-sized tick shows customers just how desperately an infected dog needs a dose of Frontline's flea and tick spray. Maybe our pals at Orphea can help too. Stationary stunts. It turns out the smartest thing about smart cars aren't the cars themselves, but the advertisements they use to market them. Smart cars are famously great at parking in tight spaces, but they aren't exactly known for being fast. So when the company released the sporty Smart Brabus back in 2007, they wanted their advertisements to focus on the car's speed. So they made this happen when the bridge the car was advertised on opens up. That's right, this bridge in Rotterdam is a Basco bridge, meaning it can open in the middle, allowing the smart billboard to show the world the speed and power of the Brabus as it flies over the river. Personally, I don't think blasting a real Brabus over the bridge would be the smartest thing to do. But hey, if an Evel Knievel wannabe tries to, and inadvertently sinks their smart car to the bottom of a river, they could presumably sue Smart for false advertising. Commercials. Miele is a German manufacturer of domestic appliances, and when they released their new S8 vacuum cleaner in Slovakia, they wanted to prove that the product could vacuum up absolutely everything, even cars and trucks. Unlike the S8, the tunnel-converting billboard definitely doesn't suck. However, after releasing images of the advertisement online, Miele revealed the billboard's big twist. It never existed. The company realized that building a real billboard was a waste of cash, and they could achieve the same amount of publicity if they created a fake advertisement and posted it online. Miele used video editing software to place the fake billboard on top of the tunnel, and whenever a truck drove past, they carefully masked the vehicle out, placing it as a separate layer on top of the advertisement. If you look closely, the cut-and-paste commercial wasn't even particularly well done. The blue sky bleeding into the billboard. This feels pretty dishonest, but annoyingly, the ploy worked. The ad gained a ton of attention as people debated whether the ad was real or fake. All this attention meant that Miele managed to make a successful advertising campaign with no media budget. And I'd be pretty impressed if I didn't feel so betrayed. The toughest toothpaste. While marketing formula toothpaste in Indonesia, advertising agency Ogilvy and Mather definitely knew the formula to making a great billboard. Formula's motto is, build strong teeth, and the advertisement represented this by showing a guy chewing straight through the ad's metal scaffolding. This simple illusion is created by using extra pieces of black metal bent and twisted into shape. The advertisement received a lot of attention online, with 9 out of 10 dentists agreeing that the innovative billboard is minty fresh. Milk Boy. Back in 2008, Indian milk company Anando created a marketing campaign that aimed to drag kids away from soda and water, proving that drinking milk was the only way to grow big and strong. This superhuman kid has clearly been hitting the milk bottle hard, his calcium-filled bones allowing him to move skyscrapers like Jenga blocks. The billboard was developed by McCann Ad Agency, and it works by hanging over the edge of the skyscraper, its blue background blending into the sky behind it. Unfortunately, some people online have pointed out that the billboard would only work on a sunny day, and it would completely block the windows of 4 floors of the building. This means that unfortunately the impractical concept was, as far as my research can tell me, never actually made. That definitely spoils the campaign, but there's no use crying over spilled milk. And at least the billboard left us with our new favorite superhero, Milk Boy! Evildoers with lactose intolerance, beware! So that wraps up our rundown of clever advertisements. What's the most effective advertisement that you've ever seen? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching.